Hello everybody, this is John from Doe Network. Today I'll be doing another video. So we have Dark Star CT at 1289 versus Mick Matt at 1337. So we see a Fabled Raven, so immediately Mick Matt negates with Effect Builder. So that's actually smart, I suppose, but he doesn't even know what he's going up against. Like, he could go up against Dark Worlds, he could be going against Fabled, but I guess it was a smart idea because if he actually went for it, he still could have discarded the monster because then he could use like a Dark Worlds effect or whatever. But since Raven's effect is technically a not a cost, it does get the Dark Worlds effect and Fable's effect, and he can't use it after effect failure. So we see another Fabled Raven, and he had another effect failure. You gotta be kidding me. Okay, it looks like it's Dark Worlds. I mean, it could still be Fabled, but I'm guessing not. I mean, Fabled Raven is a really good card because it helps out. It's basically like an easy card destruction, only with card destruction you don't really get to choose what you discard. With Fabled Raven, you get to choose. So Mac had to discard the Battlefighter, and he had the Dark Star. Excuse me, had to discard the Browse. That means he gets to draw 2 cards. This is the second dual Dark Worlds, and that kind of sucks that I have to show you guys. Okay, so we see a Silva. Okay, like I said before, I don't actually run anything like that anymore because it's actually slower this way. But this version of the deck is okay, I suppose. I mean, you do get to have power plays like Fabled Raven, and you can also OTK this way, but it's not usually the preferred way according to the most powerful of the Dark World users. So card destruction is okay, so it looks like it's going to be a Mystic Piper Chaos deck probably. I don't run DD Warrior Lady at all, but it's okay. So he's card destruction, so that means he had to discard a gold. So that was actually really good. And another drag down, so that's actually you get to see what his opponent's hand's in again, and he gets to discard whatever he has in his hand. It's most likely a monster, otherwise he wouldn't have activated the drag down. So drag down's really annoying all the time. So he had to discard a tour guide. Oh, okay, so that means this monster's going to be... So you can see that this version of the deck does OTK really well, because I was actually able to OTK with this version of the deck several times, and it's just... This version is really powerful. And how many times did he discard with Fabled Raven? Did he even discard at all? I can't remember. Okay, so it looks like he discarded once. No, he didn't discard because of the Gates game 300 attack, so that's a bunch of damage, and probably next turn he's going to lose. We don't know yet. Okay, so he's a Sync Summon, so that would be a level 7, I believe. Okay, so he's going for Ancient Fairy Dragon, so he's going to put the Gates to graveyard, gain 1,000, then he can put another Gates to his hand, so that's actually really good. Ancient Fairy Dragon is actually really good against Gear Town as well, but it only works if you actually search. Like, you can only make the Gear Town lose timing if you actually search for another field spell to your hand, because apparently gaining the 1,000 is not enough to make him miss timing. So I don't know. I mean, I would assume it's the same. It looks a lot like Soul Taker with the gaining 1,000 and then making your opponent monster lose timing if it has you can use this effect. But oh well. But we see a Chaos Sorcerer, so he's gonna obviously banish the Grapha. So he could also have a Skill Drain face down. This version of the deck still could also have what was it? Fiend Archfiend, like Trance Archfiend. That's what it was. You can. It's the same thing as Fabled Raven, only you don't get to discard as many as you want at that one turn, but you can still get to. If it was destroyed, you can still look for a a Fiend type monster in the graveyard. So he's gonna banish the Fabled Raven to special summon the Silva and get to draw a card. So the Gates actually is really powerful. It's I don't know. It's also one of the contenders for the getting rid of. And since the Alchemist was destroyed, he gets to banish one of his monsters back to his hand, and yeah, obviously it was going to be a Fabled Raven because not Fabled Raven, a Battlefighter, just in case his opponent has something to get over him, and it looks like it's going to be game unless of course he goes for the Battlefighter, of course, and there we go. That's the bad part of doing this version of the deck because they just swarm all the time, but the good version, like, well, the most popular good version is good against what's popular now. And this version of the deck is not popular. But anyway, my friend and I were actually talking about this deck not too long ago, and we're talking about the new card, A Dog's Chance, and he was saying that this card's going to dominate the TCG, because with the Dog's Chance, if you have a level 1 monster on your side of the field to face up, you can search for any level 1 monster from your deck to your hand, and then if you haven't summoned that specific monster, then you have to take 2,000 life points, but that's usually not a big deal. So, okay, so he's probably just going to choose anything. Oh, he actually chose correctly. He gets to see what is put in his hand now. I used to run Mind Crush, but not anymore. I mean, it's actually really good with the, as you saw the previous duel, that it was good for a combination with, what was it, Epidemic Curse, or whatever. And it's also really good against, I mean, it's good for the virus cards. Like, you can also use it on the virus monster that requires a 2,000 higher attack point dark monster. Then you can destroy your opponent's monster with 1,500 more attack, or less. I think 1,500 or less. So we see an honest. So that was actually really good. So it looks like he didn't actually have anything to discard with transaction. So I was correct. He probably did, like I said earlier, that he probably had an Archfiend in his deck, because it's actually good for bringing back cards after you banish with the gates. So this version is actually slow unless you have like a really good hand. Like, that's why they run Raven. That way it's much faster. So I don't know. Oops, what? So let's see what if Micmac is going to be able to make a comeback after this. Let's just hope he can, because I'm actually more on the Mystic Piper side, because in real life I'm actually a Dark World user and also a Chaos Dragon user, but that's only because I don't really buy cards. I don't actually play in real life, but you can just easily buy those structure decks, and those are the newest ones, and except the 6 Samurai one, but since I gave up, I don't really want to buy it. So I'm still not in the Dark World anymore, but Mystic Piper deck used to be my main deck for a short time when I was using Levels. So, okay, so we see a Dimensional Alchemist again, so he can put that Battle Vader back to his hand, and he can protect himself for another turn. That's a good thing about this deck, because it can actually last quite a few turns. It's just that it's hard to make a comeback, so you have to be really, really lucky, especially with Chaos Sorcerer going to 1. It's going to be really hard for a Mystic Piper user to ever come back, even though they can stay on the field for a few turns. So it's going to use the Gates effect, so that means you have a Silver. So it looks like it's going to be a game, most likely. Okay, so we see a Dark Smog. That's another one of the cards used in this deck. So he got rid of the Onyx. That's actually a smart idea, unless of course he had the Alchemist face down again. So he gets his discard. Graphene is going to destroy the face down, which is probably a Raikou or a Sangan. I was expecting a Raikou, so what he's going to search for? Another Battle Fader? Of course, another Battle Fader. So that's why he wasn't afraid of losing right there. See, with this deck you can last forever. It's just, but you can never come back. I mean, it's just too hard to come back from situations like this. Okay, so he goes for this card, which oh, okay. That was actually interesting. He actually just won. I didn't actually expect that at all, so that was actually a pretty good game, I suppose. Unfortunately, the Micmac user was using a deck that wasn't really too powerful. I feel like Dark World players always have pretty busted opening hands on the end, but in real life, that doesn't play the same way. Funny, it's actually the opposite with me, because I'm horrible on dueling network with Dark World, but I'm actually really good with real life. So it looks like that since Micmac had like 2 effects failure, he had a pretty good hand, but with Dark Star, I think he had a better hand because he had 2 Ravens, and Ravens is a pretty explosive card with this version of the deck. But anyway, that was actually a pretty interesting ending. So I hope you guys enjoyed the duel, and I'll see you guys next time. Merp.